And welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Hey now. I gotta tell you, got a little bit of a late start this morning. Welcome to From Pillow to Post. My name is Joe White. This is the show where we take you literally from pillow to post, from the world of Hollywood to the world of video games to the world of pro wrestling and more. Man, I hate having to run the kids to school at like fucking 9 a.m. These fucking millennials, man, I swear. We're having an exam, and I didn't want to sit through the exam because I didn't have to take the exam. So can you run me to school late? Jesus. Back in my day, we would have been told to sit there, be bored, twiddle your thumbs, and deal with it. Ugh, that's why I'm late this morning, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in here on YouTube and Twitch. By the way, we do have chat rooms up in both of those locations, so feel free to chat with us live. We do have a couple new subscribers I want to get to. I did not get to it on the last night on the CWF After Show. So I do want to get to those new subscribers here real quick and give them a quick shout out. Let me see if I can import those in here. Give me 1 second, guys. We got a lot to talk about today. We have a ton of stuff to talk about. Disney has purchased 21st Century Fox. We're going to run down that entire deal, tell you exactly what is going on with that, what they've acquired, what they haven't acquired, what's going to happen. Bob Iger, the head of Disney, is now required to stay in his position as head of Disney until 2021 as a part of this deal. That's huge. So yeah, we're gonna talk about all that. We're gonna talk about the Wrestle Kingdom 12 show going on in New Japan Pro Wrestling here on January the 4th. Man, what a time here! What a week for pro wrestling. What a week for entertainment. Video games as well. Mega Man is on your screen because Mega Man 11 has been announced. Mega Man X Collection for all the newer modern consoles, which I'm hoping they bring that to the Nintendo Switch. I'm hoping they bring both those games to the Nintendo Switch. We'll talk about that here in just a little while. As I'm adjusting my graphics here. Give me 1 second. All right. Let's get off to some new subscribers first, though. We have one this week, and that is Mr. Shifty. You just subscribed to us on YouTube. Thank you so much for that subscription there. Thank you, and I hope you're enjoying all the program here on the From Pillow to Post YouTube channel. If you weren't around last night, normally what we do here, or what I'm going to start doing, is normally at 9 a.m. on Wednesdays, we do the official, unofficial CWF Mid-Atlantic After Show. And then what I'm going to start doing is at 10 o'clock or whenever the after show is over, we're going to switch over and take you from pillow to post here on the channel. So that's the way things are going to work going forward. There will not be an audio version of From Pillow to Post. If you want to watch or listen to From Pillow to Post, you're going to have to do it right here on YouTube and Twitch. There is an audio version of the CWF After Show, and that is up right now. If you'd like to download that, it's at Spreaker. That's SPREAKER. Spreaker.com/user/CWF After Show. You could go check that out right now. It also should be up on iTunes. Just search CWF After Show, and you'll find it there. It should be up on iTunes later today whenever they get done cycling. And, because basically how it works is you submit an RSS feed. I have to submit the Spreaker feed to iTunes, the RSS feed, and then iTunes basically has to grab it and put it on their servers. And it takes about 24 hours for that to happen. So let's get into this big, huge deal here from, today. We've been saying it yesterday on Twitter that it was going to be announced today before the stock market. Of course, both stocks have taken a dip this morning. And it's not hard to see why. Because of the fact that, this is a major studio now that is gone. It's gone. 21st Century Fox. A lot of people asking, are we going to see the whole, the drum roll, the fanfare, the da-da-da-da-da-da-da? No, we won't be seeing that no more. We will not be seeing that anymore, guys. People are going, does this mean it's going to return to the Star Wars franchise? No. Let us know what you think about this in the chat room, in the comments below. We'll read all of your chats here on the show. I want to know what you guys think about this. This is from Variety. This is the Walt Disney Company has set a $52.4 billion all-stock deal to acquire 20th Century Fox, or 21st Century Fox, and other entertainment and sports assets from Rupert Murdoch's empire. Now, here's the thing. Well, we'll get to that here. We'll get to that. It is listed. I didn't know if it was listed here. It says the deal between Disney and 21st Century Fox makes it a historic union of Hollywood heavyweights and a bid by Disney to bolster its core TV and film businesses against an onslaught of new competitors in the content arena. Key elements of the transaction unveiled Thursday morning are as follows. The deal values 21st Century Fox assets in the transaction at $66.1 billion. $66.1 billion that they're paying for this. That's huge. Including $13.7 billion in debt that they've now incurred from the 21st Century Fox, or $28 a share. The enterprise value of the deal is $69 billion. Ultimately, Disney. And they got the money to spare. But ultimately, Disney is now paying $69 billion for 21st Century Fox. Now, Disney chairman and CEO Bob Iger has extended his contract with the company for another 2 years through the end of 2021 in order to oversee the integration of the assets. So Iger is now, once this deal is placed and once this deal is set, everything's set in stone, Iger, I think, is going to be out of there. 21st Century Fox shareholders will receive 0.2745 Disney shares for each share of the Fox, giving Fox shareholders about 25% of Disney stock. 21st Century Fox will spin off Fox Broadcasting Company, including Fox Sports, Fox News, Fox television stations, and a handful of other assets into a new company that will have a revenue of $10 billion and earnings of about $2.8 billion. The 20th Century Fox lot in Century City will also remain with the Fox spinoff company. Interesting stuff there. This is where this deal has me confused, and we'll get into this in a second, but I want to come back to that. 21st Century Fox will continue to pursue its acquisition of the remaining 61% stake in Eurosatcaster Sky, which broadcasts WWE, I believe, that it does not already own, with the intention of Disney taking it over when the Disney Fox transaction is completed. Rupert Murdoch did say that on Fox News this morning, or Fox Business this morning. They had him on by phone. He said that deal's going forward, and once we buy up Sky Sports or Sky satellite service, that's going to go into this deal as well. So as soon as this deal takes place, Disney is going to own 61% of Sky. That's crazy. Disney expects to realize $2 billion in cost savings from combining Disney and Fox's overlapping businesses within 2 years of the deal closing. Basically, what that means is anything that Fox is doing that Disney is already doing, it's all going under the Disney thing, so they don't have to run two businesses at once. So Disney expects the regulatory revenue of the acquisition to take as long as 18 months. So it's going to be 18 months before everything is final, hence why Bob Iger is staying on until 2021. Iger said the acquisition of the stellar collection of businesses from 21st Century Fox reflects the increasing consumer demand for a rich diversity of entertainment experiences that are more compelling, accessible, and convenient than ever before. We're honored and grateful that Rupert Murdoch has entrusted us with the futures of businesses he spent a lifetime building, and we're excited about this extraordinary opportunity to significantly increase our portfolio of well-loved franchises and branded content to greatly enhance our growing direct-to-consumer offerings. The deal will also substantially expand our international reach, allowing us to offer world-class storytelling and innovative distribution platforms to more consumers in key markets around the world. Rupert Murdoch would say about the acquisition, we're extremely proud of all we've built at 21st Century Fox, and I firmly believe that this combination with Disney will unlock even more value for shareholders as the new Disney continues to set the pace in what is an exciting and dynamic industry. Furthermore, I'm convinced that this combination under Bob Iger's leadership will be one of the greatest companies in the world, blah, blah, blah. Basically goes on to put each other over. So here's what kills me about this here. Disney, a lot of people think that Disney, we have Deadpool up there on the screen. Oh, my God. Yes. Oh, my God is right. And we'll get into that here in a second. But Disney, a lot of people are sitting there saying, Disney's only doing this to put over Marvel. Disney's only doing this to get the Fantastic Four and Deadpool and X-Men back under their umbrella. That's not the only reason why they're doing it, guys. That's not it. That's just the tip of the iceberg. That's the frosting on the cake. The reason why Disney is acquiring Fox, 21st Century Fox, is because Disney, I believe, next year is starting its own streaming service, their own version of Netflix, if you will. And what does this mean? They need content, because Disney does not have enough content alone to feed this and keep it going. But Disney combined with Fox, effectively now, guys, Disney owns The Simpsons. Disney owns King of the Hill. Disney owns, I believe, Family Guy. Or at least the distribution rights to all those now under this deal. You got syndication out there, and those contracts will stand, because Sci-Fi is now the home of Futurama and all that, but we could see Mickey Mouse pop up on The Simpsons. Think about that. It's never going to happen, but... So, Variety goes on to say Disney is betting more on an ambitious purchase of a sizable chunk of 21st Century Fox, hoping that more cable networks, production studios, and other properties will buoy it into the future. It's going to be planning to launch 2018 and 2019 respectively, because they got... Basically, what they're doing is they're launching ESPN as well. So ESPN's going to have a sports streaming service. They have distribution rights to all kinds of classic stuff. Like I firmly believe that once they launch that business, that streaming service, that ESPN Classic and all that is going to go bye-bye. They're going to put all that classic sports stuff on this network. To feed those pipelines, Disney is expanding its content production infrastructure with the acquisition of 20th Century Fox, a cable group that includes FX, National Geographic, plus 300 international channels. This includes also 22 regional sports networks. Also included in this, and this is a big thing as well, Fox's 30% stake in Hulu. 50% share of Animal Shine Group, the Star India satellite service, and Fox's 39% interest in Euro satellite broadcaster Sky. So the 30% stake in Hulu is interesting because Disney already owned 30% in Hulu. Now they're acquiring Fox's 30% in Hulu. Disney now owns 60% of Hulu. They're the controlling stockholder now. Warner Brothers, I think, is the other 40%, I want to say. So what does this mean for Hulu? What does this mean for people like WWE who put their stuff on Hulu? Comcast Universal was eyeing the 21st Century Fox assets as well. They bowed out of the thing 2 days ago. They don't want it anymore. So what does this mean when a company that you no longer, have interest in buying is now gobbled up by your direct competitor and now is a controlling interest in Hulu? I want to get back here to this one bullet point that we were discussing a second ago. That it's funny to me that the broadcasting company and that the 20th Century Fox lot in Century City is going to remain with the news company. Obviously, I think it's called News Corp is what Rupert Murdoch calls it. We're not going to see a Fox branding under Disney. We're not. They're going to sit there in every movie. Now, the older movies may still have the 21st Century Fox fanfare and all that on it, but going forward, I firmly believe that Fox will stay as Fox News. Sports will stay as Fox Sports, FS1. The television stations will stay as Fox. But are they going to continue to making television content? Like, are they going to continue to make content for those, or is all that content going to be coming from Disney? Yeah, it's on the Fox channel. It's on the Fox broadcasting channel. But is everything going to have Disney logos in front of it? Are they going to continue to make original programming? That's a big thing here, because they own the lot and they still own the TV station. And that TV station needs content. It's a big question that still needs to be answered. So ultimately, what does this mean now for the DCEU? That's another thing that I want to get to here. A lot of people asking, okay, they own it now. They got the X-Men back. They got Deadpool. They got Fantastic Four. They got everything that goes with that. Marvel can now finally start using the term mutants in the DCEU, or not the DCEU, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, excuse me. MCU. I don't know why I said DCEU. I do apologize. But as much as this excites me that they're getting those assets back, it scares the hell out of me. Deadpool here has every right to say, "Oh my God!" You know why? Because I don't think Disney is going to allow a R-rated Deadpool film. Deadpool 2 is already shot. The New Mutants, which is a horror film, is already shot. X-Men: The Dark Phoenix is already shot. So those 3 films, they're already shot. They're going to get released. And I think they'll get released under the 21st Century Fox banner in the next 18 months. Going forward, though, we're probably not going to see a Deadpool 3, and that ticks me off. Unless Disney says, okay, we're going to revive Touchstone, and Touchstone is going to be our R-rated banner. All this stuff, yeah, you'll see Marvel in front of it, but it's going to be Touchstone. Or maybe they'll use 21st Century Fox. Maybe they'll keep to the 21st Century Fox brand and give us that. We don't know. But I was listening to people like on Collider and people like John Campea, and they bring up a really good point here that the X-Men universe, with the exception of X-Men Apocalypse, has killed it. 3 of the last 4 have killed it. It's been awesome. Days of Futures Past was good. Apocalypse, Logan, awesome. Deadpool, freaking amazing. It's probably my favorite superhero movie of all time now is Deadpool. Will that continue to be pushed forward? Hugh Jackman's not coming back as Wolverine. But are they going to continue to do this with the MCU going forward? Are we going to end up seeing an X-Men revival in the MCU? Here's what I think happens with the MCU. You have the 2 Avengers, Infinity War, whatever the case may be. You do Captain Marvel. You do the Spider-Man movie. Let me pull up this list here. Because here's what I would do. I think that golly, that's a lot of movies. So you do Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Okay, you got Infinity War coming out this year. You got Black Panther coming out next year. Black Panther's the next one in February. And then in May, you got the Avengers. July, you got Ant-Man and the Wasp. And that's it for 2018. You got Captain Marvel, which is currently being shot, coming out in 2019, and an untitled Avengers film, which is Avengers 4, which is coming out May 3rd of 2019. Those 2 are being shot currently. The Spider-Man sequel, I believe, is also coming out July 5th of 2019, so that is being shot. But the untitled Avengers film, Avengers 4, is the end of phase 3 of the MCU. Here's what I would do. At the end of the Avengers 4, what has been, and you could corner this around Tony Stark, ever since the first Avengers film, you saw it in Iron Man 3, you saw it going forward. Tony Stark in the MCU is afraid of another alien invasion. So how do we combat that now that we're going to have this whole cosmic entity coming in? In fact, Tony Stark's nightmares are going to come true in Infinity War. That's the big thing that I don't think anybody's touched on, that I think that they're going to play brilliantly into the writing, is that they, sorry, I'm looking up something here. So they have, Tony Stark has been the big, we got to protect ourselves from the aliens. We got to protect ourselves from people coming in. And that's now going to be realized when the Guardians of the Galaxy show up. When Thanos shows up. His biggest fears are going to be realized. So, what do? You go through Avengers and you keep everything chugging along fine until Avengers 4. And at the end of the Avengers 4, what we're going to do is we're going to have, since you're going to have Captain Marvel, and now you can do like the Silver Surfer and the Fantastic Four and all that. The Avengers Tower has been sold off at the end of Spider-Man. I firmly well believe that they had that happening because that is going to become the Baxter Building. And for those who don't know, the Baxter Building is where the Fantastic Four live. That's like their lair, so to speak. So I do think we'll get the Fantastic Four. I do think it's going to become a part of the MCU. It's going to become not only a comic thing for the MCU, but it may become, the thing locally too for the MCU as far as Earth goes, Midgard, whatever you want to call it. An alternative to that, though, is that you take that Avengers Infinity Building, or the Avengers Tower, and you turn it into S.W.O.R.D. Now, their S.H.I.E.L.D. is defective in the main part of the MCU and in the feature films part of the MCU, but the TV side, Phil Coulson's the director, and blah, 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 blah. So S.H.I.E.L.D. does exist. Now, what is S.W.O.R.D.? For people who don't want to know, you got the sword and the shield. What is S.W.O.R.D.? It stands for Sentient World Observation and Response Department. And what these do is they deal with extraterrestrial threats to world security. They deal with people like Thanos and Silver Surfer when Silver Surfer wants to be bad, and everybody else. So I think at the end of Avengers 4, Tony Stark is going to form S.W.O.R.D. And I think it gets formed either they do the space station, which is called, I believe it's called the Peak, or you also do, or you have it be a part of, the Avengers Tower. I think they're going to turn that into Baxter Building and then do the Peak. But Tony Stark then forms S.W.O.R.D. Tony Stark gets together with Nick Fury, and you have S.H.I.E.L.D. and you have S.W.O.R.D., yin and yang to each other. That's the way I think it plays out. And then, now that we have S.W.O.R.D., we can ramp up shit, man, and go with the Phoenix Force. We can have dealing with, the cosmic side of Marvel. You also then, for Phase 4, you're going to introduce mutants as well. How they introduce the X-Men into this universe, a lot of people are saying just have it be separate, have it be like a multiverse type thing. I don't know about that. I don't think they'll do that. A lot of people are then saying, well, this means that they're going to come out with fewer movies a year. They're going to go from doing 6 movies a year to 4 movies a year, 5 movies a year, because they got so much stuff. Hell, I say you do more. It's going to flood the market, yes. It might. It might burst the superhero bubble that's been going on since 2000 and, since the original Spider-Man came out with Tobey Maguire and all that. But I say you do more. Or another thing you could do is they got the TV division. You could honestly sit there and do an X-Men TV show. They're already doing that with The Gifted on Fox. So there's a lot of ways they could go with this. There's a ton of ways they could go with this now. The main thing that hurts me here is the Deadpool. I don't think we'll see an R-rated Deadpool. Sadly, I don't think we'll ever get another one after Deadpool 2. It sickens me because Deadpool and Logan kind of proved that you could do superheroes for adults and have it be well received. Does an R rating hurt you as far as money goes? Yes, they're not going to make as much money. They might on the home video side of things. Because once you're in your home theater, your home movies, you don't have to worry about, selling tickets to minors and everything like that. So I think that, it's very crazy to see where they're going with this. Do the Simpsons finally get canceled? Does Family Guy get canceled? Does Fox want Family Guy under its corporate umbrella? We'll have to see how this plays out, guys. We really will. I want to get into the Warner Brothers thing here. Warner Brothers with the MCU now. We got the DCEU. Excuse me. I get these two so mixed up now. So we get into Warner Brothers with the DCEU. Warner is restructuring their DC films after the huge amount of money Justice League made just wasn't enough. Basically coming here, they announced this right before the Brazil Comic-Con. They announced now they did do some corporate restructuring as well. I believe Jeff Johns has been demoted. So we'll have to see how this goes, this corporate restructuring. It's still the same guys. You still got, I think his name is Fukunaga. He's still the top dog. So until he gets, it's apparent to me with the whole Warner Brothers thing, they just didn't, they're the Titanic. And while you could patch up the boat after it hit the iceberg, nope, we're just going to continue to sink. We're the band playing with the ship going down. You could reboot the whole thing. No, we're just going to keep trudging along. And here's how they're going to keep trudging along. Here's their current slate. Wonder Woman 2 is happening. They're paying Patty Jenkins a ton of money to direct it. Why not? Aquaman's already shot. It's happening. It's in the can there. It's being edited right now. Which I would not want to be in that editing bay. Flashpoint is going to happen. For those who don't know what Flashpoint is, think of it like the butterfly effect. Barry Allen goes back, the Flash goes back in time to stop his mother from getting killed, and in doing so, basically turns everything upside down. Jeffrey Dean Morgan is in talks to play Thomas Wayne. If those who don't know, if you saw Batman vs. Superman, he already played Thomas Wayne in the beginning of that opening credit sequence. But in Flashpoint, when Barry Allen saves his mom and everything, it's Bruce Wayne that dies, and it's Thomas Wayne that takes up the mantle of Batman. Can you imagine seeing Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Batman? I honestly, if they do Flashpoint, it's going to fail, but it's worth it just for seeing Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Batman just once. Here's my thing, though. This whole DCEU thing has been failing miserably. Miserably. It's very, very evident that fans just don't want to see it. They got burnt with Batman vs. Superman. While it made a ton of money, after the fans spent that money, they're like, screw this, we're not following you. Suicide Squad was the same way. People went out and saw Suicide Squad. They got one look at the Joker with the metal teeth and the fake gangster attitude, and when Pyro was the most interesting character in that, or El Diablo, I think it was, Diablo, when he was the most interesting character in that whole movie, I mean, that's what people were praising. We finally get a Harley Quinn. we finally get Harley Quinn on the big screen. No, we're going to El Diablo. Steals the show. It was a critical flop, and it was a lot of people went out and saw it because, hey, we get Harley Quinn on the big screen. And it's nice. I like Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. But I want to see her treated fairly. I want to see her written fairly and good. So Flashpoint is definitely happening, apparently. Ben Affleck is signed on to play Batman for one more movie. He's got to don the cowl one more time. I'm sad to see Affleck go. I had my reservations. If you go back on the channel from a while back, I had my reservations of Ben Affleck being Batman / Bruce Wayne. And I got to be honest with you, he's the best Batman / Bruce Wayne I've ever seen. I don't want Ben Affleck to leave as Batman. But Flashpoint's happening. Also here, so you think they reboot it then. You think that they would just reboot things and say, okay, what we did didn't work, we're going to start from scratch. Nope. Justice League Dark is announced. Suicide Squad 2 is announced. Shazam still going forward. Batgirl. They're just going to keep tumbling down the hill. Green Lantern Corp and the Batman. There's no mention of Justice League 2 or a Cyborg movie. C.W. McAllister says Michael Keaton. No, sorry, man. I like Michael. I liked Michael Keaton as Batman. I did not care for his portrayal of Bruce Wayne. I'll be honest, I like Ben Affleck as both Bruce Wayne and Batman. I like the way he plays Bruce Wayne. Why? Because Affleck is a comic book nerd at heart. It's why he did Daredevil years and years and years ago. There's a story about that Kevin Smith tells. When he was filming, he was going to film Jersey Girl at the same time that Daredevil was filming. And Affleck had already signed on to do Jersey Girl, which I like Jersey Girl. It's a funny little film. The little girl in that steals the show, but whatever. So does George Carlin. But anyway, Affleck was begging Kevin Smith to write something like Chasing Amy. He wanted to do something dramatic like Chasing Amy, which if those of you who have never seen Chasing Amy, you got to check that out too. But anyway, Kevin Smith writes Jersey Girl, and they're planning to shoot in May of whatever year they shot it. And Affleck gets offered Daredevil. It's like, dude, I'm going to put on the horns. I'm going to put on the suit, swing the billy club. Well, when do they want to start shooting? And Affleck tells him, and it's about the same time that Jersey Girl started to shoot. So Kevin Smith goes, okay, well, we can move the shooting back, but you got to take far less money. And Affleck agreed to far less money for doing Jersey Girl. And there's a pause on the phone. And he goes, Kevin, you haven't even finished writing fucking Jersey Girl yet, have you? Kevin Smith goes, nope, it hangs up. So I mean, it's why he my point to that is Affleck likes doing, he likes comic books. He's a comic book nerd, so at heart. So too bad when he went and did Daredevil, though, they kind of treated it the same way. It was very poorly written, and it was a horrible movie. But my point to that is that I think that, Affleck really surprised everybody as Batman and Bruce Wayne, and I'm happy. I'm sad to see him go because those three portrayals, and the second time he did it in Suicide Squad doesn't even count for me. So there's no mention of a Black Adam solo movie starring The Rock. There's no mention of Man of Steel 2, which people have been clamoring for because they want to see Brainiac. There's no Harley Quinn solo movie. There's no Joker and Harley Quinn movie. There's no Gotham City Sirens, no Deathstroke, Nightwing, nothing. There's also a 1980s Joker movie that's being produced by Martin Scorsese. That hasn't been officially announced yet. There's almost as many DC movies rumored to be in development than there are films on the actual slate. In contrast to the DCEU, you have the television series. You know, granted, this season of all like Daredevil or Arrow, Legends, Flash, which I'm kind of liking Flash this season, and Supergirl. They haven't been as good as they have been, which Supergirl lost me after season 1, I'll be honest here. But Crisis on Earth X was a way better team up than Justice League. Crisis on Earth X, 4 hours long. Well, you might as well say about 3.5 hours long after commercials. But I'm hoping they release that on DVD as one big thing, one big movie. Because I loved Crisis on Earth X. It's probably some of the best TV that CW and DC have ever done. It's definitely my favorite crossover ever. It's better because the writing is better. It's better because just the characters are better. I liked Crisis on Earth X way more. But yeah, so there you go. A little bit of other things from Hollywood here. The Screen Actors Guild nominations were revealed, I believe, yesterday. Netflix's Glow, tying it into pro wrestling here. Allison Brie has been nominated for a SAG Award for Outstanding Performance by a Female Actor in a Comedy Series. Mark Maron, who steals the show as Sam Silva, is nominated for Best Outstanding Performance by a Male Actor. Glow is nominated for Outstanding Performance by an Ensemble in a Comedy Series. I can't talk today. Outstanding Action Performance by a Stunt Ensemble in a Comedy or Drama Series, which, don't they do their own stunts on that? Should the cast win Best Ensemble, that may make Kia Stevens, a.k.a. Awesome Kong, the first professional wrestler to ever win a SAG Award. SAG Awards take place on January 21st, airing on TNT and TBS. I have here on my list here, before we get into New Japan stuff, The Walking Dead is pissing people off. I posted a video about Chandler Riggs leaving the show. What a controversy that was, with his dad being so outspoken. Collider did a video last night, and this is why I added it to my list. Collider did a video last night saying that they would no longer be doing a Walking Dead review show because they all three of the hosts can't stand the way the series is going. I could see where they're coming from, and I could see where people would say that All Out War has been disappointing because there's no war. One of the hosts on Collider last night called it the Waffling Dead because that's essentially what they are. We got to kill this person. And then they finally get to the point where they can kill the person and no, we better not kill this person. It's the same thing over and over. I agree. But Jeffrey Dean Morgan puts on such a good performance, and Stephen Ogg, who plays Simon, puts on such a good performance on that show. That's what makes me tune in, is just seeing what those two guys are going to do from week to week. I could give fuck all what Rick Grimes is doing. They should, to me, they could kill him off at the end of this season. It's just not working anymore. The rating, here's a show who used to get better ratings than football on Sunday nights. Does that remind you of anybody else? WWE. Here's a show. Their mid-season finale, here we are, season 8? Their mid-season finale this year had its lowest rating since season 2. And now everybody's sitting there going, it's the same thing. They go find a spot. They live in it for a year. The zombies or the bad guys take over and they lose it. Guess what, folks? That's what the comics are, too. All these people saying the comic is better. The comic is more well-written. Newsflash. Newsflash. The showrunner is Scott Gimple, but Robert Kirkman The writer of the Walking Dead comic book is an executive producer. He oversees everything. He gives a yes or no to everything. He said before that the television show is an outlet so he could change the way the comics, if Robert Kirkman had to do it all over again, this is how he would rewrite the comics. I'll still watch, but I stopped giving a shit around the prison season. A lot of people did with the governor and everything. A lot of people said that once that whole governor deal happened, that was it. A lot of people cite the episode where Herschel died as the time where they stopped giving a damn. Last season, it was the bottle episodes. Oh, my God. And the season before that, it was the whole faking Glenn's death thing. I don't see where that got a lot of people pissed off, where they were like, oh, he's dead, but no, he's not dead. I don't see how that pisses people off. That was a good twist. I didn't think he was dead anyway. I'm like, it's a parody crawled under the dumpster. But the whole thing of, spoiler alert for those who hadn't seen this past Sunday's show. Alexandria just got blown up, so they've lost Alexandria. Newsflash, recently within the last 6 months of the comics, they've lost Alexandria in the comics too, to a horde of zombies. All the people who read the comic books who also watch the show are sitting there going, give us the Whisperers already. Give us the Whisperer War. Newsflash, they can't even do the war with Negan right. 2, you've seen them do the Whisperer thing before. Every time they did it just 2 episodes ago by covering themselves in zombie guts so that the zombies won't see them or smell them. That's all the Whisperers are. They wear dead flesh over theirs. They basically wear zombie skin as masks and armor so that they can blend in with hordes and attack people. You've seen it before on the show already, so why are you wanting it so bad? You're just going to complain when they do it. Fans, again, it's the sensitive universe. Fans just complain when they do it. They're just going to complain when they get what they want. So why the hell be in a rush? People complaining that Chandler Riggs, Carl's death wasn't as dramatic. He should have, and even Chandler Riggs came out and said it. I should have gone out in the blaze of glory, and I would have liked to gone out in a more physical way, but this is for storytelling, and I understand what they're doing. It's crazy that so many fans have just tuned away. It's a bigger drop than like 2001 wrestling was to me. After the Invasion pay-per-view or after the Survivor Series of 2002 or 2001, their ratings just tanked. Walking Dead's the same way. After the Negan killed Carl and Abraham, it just tanked. And I can't say that. After last year's mid-season finale, it tanked. Because they were like, we're going to get more and more bottle episodes of just focusing on 1 and 2 characters at a time. I don't like the bottle episodes, but also what I do not like and what I can't stand is all these people going, we want more Rick, we want more Daryl. And I'll be honest, it's prominently female fans going, I got to see my Daryl. I got to see Rick on the screen. It's not the Rick and Daryl show. It's not even the Rick and Daryl. Daryl isn't even the comics. It's not even the Rick show in the comics. That shit makes me wish they would have chopped Rick's hand off like they have in the comics. All right, let's move on to some New Japan Pro Wrestling here. New Japan Pro Wrestling Wrestle Kingdom 12 coming your way on January 4th. Then a few days later on Access TV, they're releasing it. Jericho versus Omega. There was a thing, I'll see if I can find it here, and Jericho may have been working here on this. me see here. They did Jericho was recently on Don Callis and Lance Storm's podcast. And here it is. So apparently Naito has been saying that him and Okada is the main event, and that Jericho and Omega really isn't nothing. So Jericho goes on the podcast on Lance Storm and Don Callis' podcast and has this to say, I think this is... Actually, he goes on Busted Open Radio and says this.
Well, first of all, I had to look him up to find out what he looked like. You know, I heard the name, but I wasn't sure exactly who he was. It just kind of shows how stupid he is because, I mean, yes, it is a double main event, and if he really believes that the Tokyo Dome ticket sales are 2.5 times greater than they were last year at the same time, if he truly believes that's because of him and Okada, then he's a real stupid idiot. There's no doubt about it. To me, and once again, and if I went there and said, oh, for sure it's Omega versus Jericho, it's Alpha versus Omega, through the roof is the main event, I'd be a stupid idiot. But I'm smart. I understand how the business works. You've got the two Gaijins that are two of the greatest performers in the world, the match that nobody ever thought would happen. That's the main event. Then you got the world title match of Okada versus Naito, the two Japanese guys fighting over New Japan's most prestigious title. That's a main event. It is a double main event. That's why the tickets are selling so well, because it's a 1-2 punch. And that's one thing I was laughing about, because on a worldwide basis, Omega Jericho is totally the main event. I mean, there was a I just posted it on Instagram today. It was on the marquee of the Staples Center yesterday. Chris Jericho versus Kenny Omega, Wrestle Kingdom 12 in digital neon lights. You can go to my Instagram, Chris Jericho Fozzy, and see it. I mean, that's a worldwide buzz for a match. It's no other match is getting right now. This is the biggest match in wrestling right now, and there's no match in the WWE that can even match this, because they've already done. They did Cena and Reigns, and they did Strowman and Lesnar. Tell me another match that they could put together in the WWE tomorrow that would have a bigger buzz than Alpha versus Omega. You can't.
You can't.
So, Naito to say that shows that he's an idiot, because if he was smart, he would admit that it's a double main event and say how huge it is and put more money in his pocket. But you know what? I'll save that money for me, and he can go back to doing Tranquilito or Despacito or whatever the hell it is that he's saying.
So some strong comments there by Jericho with the Naito. I honestly sit here and think that it's a double-edged sword, because do I think that if they had not done the Jericho versus Omega match, has it jump-started the ticket sales? Yes. Here's the thing that a lot of people do not know about New Japan, though. They regulate how many tickets are sold outside of Japan. This year, they got more Americans going to the Tokyo Dome than ever before, from what Meltzer says. And if anybody's brushed up on this, it's Meltzer. So they got more American fans being, going than ever before. Which I'm not sure how the Japanese crowd is going to feel about that. So do I think that Jericho and Omega is the reason for the jump start? Yes. Do I think that they would still have as many fans going over to Japan if they hadn't? No. Why? Because Naito and Naito and Okada is not as strong of a main event as this. Jericho is absolutely right with these comments. It is a double main event. They're both of those matches are drawing money. On a world, and to clear up one thing here. The reason why Jericho versus Okada or Jericho versus Omega was put up on the billboard of the marquee of the Staples Center is because you have to go through Access to buy tickets for the Staples Center. I want to say there's a joint ownership there. So, yeah, they're going to promote it. Another reason they're going to promote it is they were just in the Staples Center not too long ago for WWE. So the Staples Center figures, let's throw that up on the marquee because we got wrestling fans coming here tonight. They might want to know what our company's putting on. It's curious because I noticed a couple weeks ago when they flashed a graphic up saying they were coming to the Staples Center, their tickets were not being sold by Ticketmaster or Live Nation or anywhere. It was sold by AXS.com, Access. Same company that airs New Japan TV. But all this squabbling over, you're the main event, I'm the main event. Look, the title is going to main event the show. They'd be a fool if they put Jericho and Omega on last. What does that say about New Japan Pro Wrestling when the Gaijin are main eventing? Yes, I know it's probably happened before, whatever the case may be. Maybe it hasn't. I don't know. I'm not a New Japan dictionary here. But your world title's got a main event. Naito and Okada's going to be freaking amazing. Hell, we don't know. Yes, the build has been good for it, but who knows? Omega and Jericho could get in there and stink the place up. And if they do have a bad match, and if people sit there and go, oh, well, that didn't live up to the hype, that's very dangerous for New Japan if that happens, because they're starting to get that rise the last couple years. That could be squashed, theoretically. That whole momentum deal could be squashed if this match is a stinker. It could happen. It's a very, very dangerous line to walk on, and booking this match is a huge risk. Just as much, and all the fanboys, I'm excited about it. I think the build to it, the press conferences, attacking each other at the press conferences, Jericho showing up and busting up Omega, I'm loving the build for this. But I'm also scared to death that the hype and the build, that the match won't live up to all that. We've seen it in pro wrestling time and time again where the match just does not live up to the hype. And I'm hoping to God that this isn't one of those cases. Another one I'm very, very, excited to see. I'm excited to see Jay White versus Tanahashi for the Intercontinental title. I feel like that's going to be a hell of a match as well. You got Marty Scurll versus Takahashi versus Kushida versus Ospreay in a fatal four-way. I don't know if that's elimination or not for the junior heavyweight title. That's going to be a hell of a match. So who knows? I mean, I'm going to be watching it on January the 4th, just like, I'm going to try to watch it live just like everybody else will be. I don't like the idea of watching it on Access because it's going to be having commercials in it. Is my phone in the background ringing? Let me unplug that. Oh, do you unplug this? There it is. Okay. Another one is Cody versus Kota Ibushi for the ROH World Championship. This is going to be something here. I don't think Cody's dropping the belt, but we've seen stranger things have happened. Roppongi 3K, which is Sho and Yo versus the Young Bucks. Hope that goes on first. The Killer Elite Squad versus Los Ingobernables de Japón, which is Evil and Sonata. But Tanahashi and Jay White really has me intrigued because of the fact of the build-up for that. The videos that they were airing for Jay White were really good. And I like Jay White's character, the outfit, the ring gear and everything. Looks like something straight out of a Final Fantasy video game. It's perfect for New Japan. Perfect. And Kenny Omega versus Jericho, the fact that title's on the line really has not been brung up in all this. Yeah, he hit him with the belt when he busted him open, but the fact that I have here on Wikipedia that says it's for the title, but have they really came out and said that this is for that title? It doesn't need to be for the title. Hell, the Alpha versus Omega thing is enough to make it, what they've been doing so far has proven it doesn't need to be for the title. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen here in New Japan? New Japan to me is kind of like Ring of Honor. I don't keep up with stuff like their weekly. I don't think New Japan has weekly TV, but Ring of Honor. I don't watch their weekly TV. I keep up with it. Like, I know that it's going to be Dalton Castle versus Cody at Final Battle, which I believe is this weekend. It's either this weekend or next weekend, one of the two. Well, next weekend's like Christmas weekend, so I don't think it's happening then. But it's like, I'll keep up and I'll watch the pay-per-views because the pay-per-views are always good. Like, with New Japan, you got the Power Struggle. You got this. You got the Wrestle Kingdom show. New Year's Dash happens the next day. So, because New Year's Dash is always like the big thing where everything, everything culminates with the January 4th show, and then they have to reset everything with New Year's Dash. Kind of like what CWF is going to probably do, where everything is culminating with Battlecade, and then the next show is where they're going to have to reset and do some more, different angles, which is awesome. I always like New Year's Dash. New Year's Dash is always a hell of a show. Just because I like when New Japan. Yes, it's okay to have 7-8 star matches, but for me, I like seeing what they do with the angles as well when they build up those angles with the promos and stuff like that. I enjoy that just as much as, if not more, than I do the matches because they do it so well. Ring of Honor is kind of, the same way. I'll watch their big pay-per-views. If they do like the actual pay-per-views from Las Vegas are always good. Like Best in the World, Final Battle, stuff like that. But I don't watch them from week to week because it's boring. They don't really have any build-up for these matches. I mean, they have with Dalton Castle with the mask and everything like that, but I guess what I'm saying is there's only so much of the flippity flu that I can take. Let's get into some video game news here before we close out here today. WWE 2K18 on the Switch is not playable. Not playable, according to some people. IGN giving it a 3.8. Why? Because the frame rate is so slow. It takes 20 minutes for Alexa Bliss to make her entrance on the Switch. Have you seen this gameplay footage? Have you seen it? It's horrible. I can't show it here because Nintendo will copyright me, but it's horrible. The frame rate is so horrible. And never mind doing a tag match or a 6-man match. It looks like something that came off a PlayStation 2, let alone a PlayStation 3. I told you. I told everybody. The second that they announced that WWE 2K18 was coming to the Switch, I'm like, it's going to be bad. It's going to be horrible. I said it right here on this YouTube channel. And I said it on Twitter. It's going to be so bad. It's going to be unplayable. It's going to be like the last couple of years of the Nintendo Wii when they would do they would put games on the PS3 and the PS4, and then they'd be like, yeah, we're going to do a Wii version as well, only it's not going to have all the same features. The roster's going to be less. It's the same way how the last couple of years when they've announced stuff for the PS4 and they say, yeah, it's coming to the PS3 too, but we're not going to have the same universe mode or storyline mode. Instead, you're going to get a way stripped down version that we're going to stamp the NXT name on, and it's not going to have all the same characters, and you can only do this. You really can't play it online. It's so bad. Why even make this? Why even make it? Why sit there and pay a third-party company to do this? Why waste the money? Why not make, and people go, why not make a version specifically for the Switch, like a totally different game? Here's why. They can barely get through making it for the PS4 and making it come out good without any damn frame rate issues, let alone take an entirely different development team, spend more money, spend more time, spend more resources just for one console? It's a business, guys, at the end of the day. It's a business. They're in it to make money. Hence, Battlefront 2 and that fiasco. They're in it to take your money. And if they're going to sit there and devote a year's worth of time, a year's plus worth of time, to do that, to devote an entirely development team, to maybe even have to redo and rewrite an entirely different game engine, it's not going to happen. Do I think that we'll see 2K18 for the Switch or 2K19 for the Switch next year? Very, very, very low probability that happens. Unless they could clean up their act, fix the frame rate issues. Who knows? I could be wrong and they could announce that they're really going to do WWE Switch. I knew graphically, it's horrible. You look at a game like Super Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild, Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle. All beautiful games for the Switch. Xenoblade Chronicles, beautiful game for the Switch. They got even that paper cut game that they have, the Snips game or whatever it is. It looks awesome. And then you have this come out? Now, I know it's a very small fraction of the audience that bought this. I guarantee you the sales for this thing are minuscule compared to other Switch games. Even Just Dance looks better than this on the Switch. It's horrible. This game looks like SmackDown vs. Raw 2010. It's horrible. It's an insult to wrestling fans. It's an insult to gamers. It's an insult to WWE. I heard WWE is pissed at the backlash that they're getting from this. It's not WWE's fault. WWE just gives them a license and says, here, put our... But it's their name on it. It's ultimately their black eye. They get the one black eye, and 2K/Take-Two Interactive, they get the other black eye, and the third party that put this damn port together is the broken nose. There's no excuse for this. No excuse whatsoever. They should have never ported it over. And if you're going to port it over, at least, okay, we don't get to put 8 people in the ring. We're not going to have the story mode deal that we get. But at least make it graphically good and at least make the frame rate. It's so bad. All I could say about WWE 2K18 on the Switch is I told you so. I knew it was coming. Mega Man 11. Let's talk about Mega Man 11. Mega Man 11 a couple weeks ago got announced. And also the Mega Man X collection, which I am excited about. I like the Mega Man X series better than I like the regular hey, leave 2010 alone. That was the last one I liked. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. But when a modern day game looks like that, it's horrible. So for the 30th anniversary of Mega Man, they're doing Mega Man 11. And they're also doing the Mega Man X collection, which again, I like the X games better than I like the original one. This game is announced in December. Take part in the 30th anniversary along with other announcements. It's going to be featuring 3D polygonal character and elements departing from the pixel-based art. Guess what? It's going to look like, it's kind of look like Mega Man's version of Mighty No. 9, except for it's going to be 10 times better because Mighty No. 9 was garbage. Garbage. It is going to be released for the Nintendo Switch, which I might buy this on the Nintendo Switch. This is why I watch video game reviewers that are better than me and that have ties in with everybody, because there's going to be people like Boogie2988 and everybody else that get advanced copies of this for free, and I'll watch them, and if they say it's okay, I'll go buy it for a Switch. Otherwise, I might just buy it digitally on PS4. If it ports over nicely to the Switch, though, I'll buy it on the Switch because I could take it with me. That's and that's another thing about the 2K thing. The Switch version should have been top freaking notch, because the being able to take WWE wrestling with you anywhere and play it on the go, only to have it turned off like you had your heart, you had your dreams just broken. It's crazy. So it is coming out for PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch as well. The release date is Q4 2018, so it will probably be late next year before we see it. The first 8 games in the series are compiled for the Mega Man X collection. So you're talking 1993 through 97. And then 2000, 2001, 2003, 2004. It's also going to include Mega Man Battle and Chase, I believe. This was already released apparently in 2006 on PlayStation 2, but they're going to HD it and all that good stuff. It is coming to the Nintendo Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and Windows summer of 2018. An updated collection, including the 7th and 8th games, will be ported. Apparently that Battle and Chase is like a Mario Kart style game, which is awesome. Also contains unlockable art and music. Apparently they may fix this for the updated one, but when they released this back in 2006, the version of Mega Man X3 is the PlayStation version instead of the SNES version. The Japanese voice tracks for the cutscenes used in all previous PlayStation versions of Mega Man X6 were completely moved in the included version. Battle and Chase was the first time that was the first time it was available in North America. But I like the X series. I really do. I can't wait for this to come out. Mega Man X was probably the first Mega Man game as a kid that I beat all the way through. Mega Man 2, everybody overhypes Mega Man 2. Yes, it's good. It has good music. It's really good. The cover of Game Informer, if you haven't seen the cover of this month's Game Informer, it's all the versions of Mega Man, like the covers of Mega Man, including that crappy one that NES did for North America, that the Nintendo did for North America, with the dude in the suit holding the gun. It's one of the few, normally I take Game Informer, I'm lucky if I read it. It just comes with with my GameStop thing. But this month's cover, I think I'm going to keep. I like it. I really like it. Cuphead. I have not gotten a chance to play Cuphead yet. I really want to play Cuphead. I'm waiting for, obviously, money, and I'm probably going to go ahead and buy it for Windows so that I could download it onto an Xbox if I ever buy an Xbox, which is highly unlikely. But if I could play it on my PC and have it run just as good, I'll just pay for it and buy it on PC, use my crappy Xbox controller and play it like that. But I'm excited to see Cuphead. It won Best Art Direction at the Gaming Awards this past week, so I was excited for that. It deserved it. The art in that game is the reason to play it. The art and the music are the reason to play that game so far. I've shown my girlfriend a couple of scenes in the video game with the characters, and she thought it was funny as hell. But so yeah, I'm excited for Mega Man. Really excited for Mega Man. I'm excited for the X collection. The Last of Us. They did PSX this past weekend, and we got a Last of Us 2 panel, and then we got a Last of Us 2 concert, as it were, with the two lead characters who play Ellie and Joel, the two actors, singing a song. And I was just like, we don't want this. We want gameplay footage. Yeah, you gave us that trailer at E3, I believe it was, or shortly after E3, but I want, and yeah, the game is really, really early in development still. I get it. But I don't want to see the two guys playing the guitar and singing songs. I don't want to see it. I'd rather see that in-game. But guess what? They already gave that to us in-game with the first announcement trailer where she's playing that guitar. And I hope to God that this guitar, like learning songs, is not a part of the game. I don't want to see it. I don't want to do it. It's a side quest crap that I don't want, that could be better suited elsewhere. I want this just to include it in the cutscenes, have it be a side note that yes, he taught her how to play guitar, but it shouldn't be a main focus of the story. It shouldn't be a main focus of gameplay. It's not Rock Band. It's The Last of Us. That's going to do it for me, guys. Leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think on all these topics. Hit that like button. And above all, hit the subscribe or follow button there so that you'll be updated whenever we go live. I really enjoyed doing this today. I hope to do it again next week with you guys. My name is Joe White. Thank you so much for watching, and you've just been taken from pillar to post.